Because when you're young and people tell you you have potential, it's a compliment and it makes you feel hopeful. By the time you're 65 and people are saying, you know, you have a lot of potential, it's depressing. Because by the time I'm 65, I don't need potential, I need kinetic. Potential doesn't pay the bills. Potential doesn't put a ring on my finger. Oh, you're gonna be a good wife. Well, I'd like to be a good wife 3 years ago. If I'm a good wife, where's my good man? I come to church and I walk past all these men, but they're all passive, bunch of Christian men. Will never give anybody a hug, praying for a wife instead of asking one out to Starbucks. I can't do anything in potential. That seemed like that one hit. You know, you can never know the potential of a seed by looking at it. Hey, little seed. You know, you pray over a seed, you still won't know its potential. You can study the history of seeds, and although you might intellectually grasp its potential or comprehend what it contains, the only way to really know the potential is to plant it. And could it be that in your life and in my life right now, there is potential that has not been planted? And so while we are frustrated about what our lives are missing, it's already in us in an immature form. And until we sow it, we will never know what it could have been. Now, I believe all over this house today, there are starving seeds. There are things, gifts, abilities, thoughts, ideas, wisdom that God has put in us, but it will not be shown until it is sown. Can I preach like I'm Dr. Seuss? My rhymes are on point so far. You will never see it until you sow it. And so while we're praying, God, show me my potential, and we're taking personality tests, which are fine. God bless Myers-Briggs, whoever he is. God bless the Enneagram. Holly reads all that stuff to me. She tells me I'm a 1 and she's a 9, and the 1 and the 9 go together, and my 1 and her 9 make a perfect 5 or something like that. I don't know how it works. I like all of it. But the truth of the matter is, you can't bubble in a test and find out what's in you. You can't go on a journey of self-discovery and find out what's in you. Because watch this, until the seed is sacrificed, until it goes into something bigger called the ground, until it breaks open to accomplish something, you'll never know what was in it. And when you live a selfish life, a safe life, and you don't sow it, you will never know. The enemy has got some of us so selfish, so discouraged, that our seeds are starving. Not for the lack of potential, but for the lack of process. So like, think about Elisha plowing in a field in 1 Kings 19, just as an illustration. And he's plowing, verse 19, he's plowing in a field with a yoke of oxen. There it is. He's plowing with 12 yoke of oxen in front of him. He's not posing in front of the plow. He's not posting on my plow. He's just plowing. He's just plowing. And a lot of times we will confuse the fact that we don't have good ground in our life, that is good opportunities. But maybe it's good ground and it's just unplowed. And I wonder if sometimes the things that we go through that are hard for us is not the enemy attacking us, but it is God plowing us to make the ground ready, to make our hearts ready, to make our wills ready, so we won't be arrogant and prideful, but we will have a plowed heart. And I don't know who this is for, but a lot of the things that you've been praying away, God is plowing into. And it's God's plowing process. Just like Elisha had been plowing the ground, I believe God had been plowing Elisha, and I believe he's been plowing some of us and getting our ground ready and getting our hearts ready. Because sometimes if God visits us too soon with an opportunity that life has not prepared us for, we will not only ruin the opportunity, but we will hurt others in the process. So I don't want my heart to be unplowed ground. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Because this message is not just about plowing, it's about planting. And really what I wanted to say is, you have no idea what your encouragement can be until you plant it. What your smile can be until you plant it. And planted, for me, is theoretical. For a farmer, it's practical. I read it as a metaphor, planted. But really this process Solomon is describing in an agricultural society would hit home like it would be like saying like an iPad. Because there were so many more. You got to understand the Bible was written in the context of its culture. And so it'd be like saying, it'd be like this. I was sitting next to a man on an airplane, and this actually happened, okay, true story. And I just got my iPad. This was years ago. And I was so proud to be one of the first people with an iPad. And it had just come out. And we sent an intern to the Apple store to get one of the first iPads, okay? And I let them buy themselves something too, okay? So I hooked them up. But the thing is, I wanted to have one of the first iPads because Levi Lusko was telling me, you got to get an iPad, bro. He's like, totally. You know my friend Levi, he's been here to preach. You got to try sriracha, bro. You got to get this new bracelet for your workout, bro. You got to get an iPad. He's always telling me to get something I don't already have. Always make me feel like my life is missing something. He's some kind of marketer from the pit of hell. But I love him. You got to get an iPad, bro. It's beautiful. It's just the technology is beautiful. So I have my iPad. And the guy next to me had an iPad too. And so we felt like a connection. And he goes, how you like your iPad? I was like, I don't know, I just got it. He goes, I've had mine a week. I was like, they just came out yesterday. He said, I got connections at Apple. I was like, oh, I got an intern. Send him to the Apple store. He goes, so what are you planning to use it for? I was like, well, I'm a preacher, so I'm gonna preach my sermons from it. He goes, what else? I was like, I don't know what else. That's it, really, I guess. And he got this look on his face, like disgusted, like disappointment in somebody that a minute ago he felt an affinity for, but now he just felt nothing but deep, total sadness and loss at what could have been a great relationship. He goes, you are using that device so far beneath its potential. And we didn't speak the rest of the flight. I didn't know what to say back. I'm so sorry, man. I just don't. You know, every time I open the iPad, I think about what it could do. And I think about what's on it and what it could connect to through the Wi-Fi connection. I think about everything that it could do that it's not doing. I think about the potential of it. I think about everything that's in some of the people that I get to preach to. Everything that is in you that you haven't accessed, and everything that's in you that got buried, that got covered up. But the thing about dirt is it can also bring out potential. The thing about a seed when it goes into the ground, remember, it doesn't go into the ground to die. It goes into the ground to multiply. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about because you had a failure in your life and people wrote you off. And people walked away, and it seemed like it was over. But you gave it a little time, and you gave it a little water, and you gave it a little trust, and you kept coming to church. And somehow, some way, God turned pain into potential. Now, if you ever fished all night and caught nothing, but you cast your nets on the other side and hauled in a bucket full, I need you to shout right now that there's so much more. Hey, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a single video or live stream, and share this video with a friend. And don't forget, you can join me live every Sunday. Thanks again for watching.